Hey digital artists, in this video we're going to talk about creating a simple Notan for practice using Google Drawing. So you're going to open up your copy of the Google Drawing, and I've already set up the background to be a neutral gray color. So if you want to use a different background color, you can alternate click and change the background color, but for this I'm just using gray. You're going to use the shapes from the toolbar and create a perfect square by pressing Shift and dragging. When you do this, it makes the square perfect, and then you can click on it and line it up with those red crosshairs. I'm going to start off making my square black. Then I'm going to go back into the shapes toolbar. I'm going to create another shape that's going to be the other half of my shape. So I'm going to click near that top corner and I'm going to drag down, and what I'm going to do is make a shape that's about half of my Google Drawing. Take a bit of time to line up this shape so that it takes up exactly half of the square. You can use the guidelines to help you do that as you're clicking and dragging. Another thing that I like to do is make all of the borders transparent while I'm working on this project so that it truly looks like a cut paper design. If you zoom in, you'll be able to refine the edges of your shape much more carefully and use the guides to help make it exactly in half. Then I make that half white. Doing this helps me visualize my space a little bit easier as I'm working. That's why I have the background set as a different value. We're going to use the polyline tool and zoom in so that you can really see accurately where you're clicking. I'm going to start working on the black half by clicking at the top, dragging to the side, clicking, and making a triangle shape. So I'm going to close off my triangle shape, and I'm going to change the fill color. I think it's easier to change the fill color and then flip the shape. The shape must be selected, so if you can't see the flip button, you need to use the select tool to click on your shape. Then you're going to flip it over and drag it to the other side. Then you need to duplicate the shape. To do this, you can do it by changing this side first or the other way around. It might be easier to visualize it if you do the white color and then duplicate it and make the shape black. So I'm lining up those shapes in the middle, and now it looks like a balanced artwork where there's a black shape and a white shape, and it has bilateral symmetry down the center. I'm going to go back to the polyline tool and I'm going to click on the midline and I'm going to drag over, click, move the mouse, click, move the mouse, and close off my shape. Now this shape I'm going to change the fill color and make it white. Then I'm going to duplicate the shape using Control-D on the keyboard. After I've duplicated the shape, I'm going to use the Select tool so that I can use the Format Options toolbar to flip it over, and then I'm going to change the shape to black. I'm keeping it very simple right now by just making triangle shapes because sometimes the polyline tool can be a little bit difficult as you're working in Google Drawing. The more practice that you get with the polyline tool, the more complex shapes you'll be able to make. So for my practice, I'm starting off using just triangles. Again, I'm going to fill color my shape to white, and then I'm going to duplicate my shape with Control-D, and then I'm going to fill color that shape black. I'll line it up with the symmetry line, which is in the center, and then I'm going to go back and turn my borders to transparent by selecting all of my shapes. Then I'm going to make another shape in the center. Notice how it's getting a little bit more small. I'm going to do a little bit more of a complex shape with a zigzag line here. I'm going to come to the line of symmetry. I'm going to close off my shape, and then I'm going to repeat the steps: fill color to white, Control-D to duplicate, and then I'm going to use the format options to flip over that shape and line it up with the line of symmetry. So this is my simple Notan design, and I can't wait to see what you're going to create for your Notan design. Make sure that your name is in the bottom corner of the artwork so that when we print it out, it is going to be easy for me to return to you or display on our bulletin board. Have fun making your first Notan. Make sure that you download your image. Your project is going to come out awesome, I just know it.